to choose the path that's right. Living our lives every day of our lives.
When you pay, your mahar is credit. If you don't pay her, your relationship is considered zina. That is her right, hakul tamlik. You cannot take away their right until they allow you to do so. Islam is a beautiful religion. It teaches you from the basic human rights.
I pray for our world. I pray for every child. I pray for our world to be filled with smiles.
Do you know, sisters, for the mothers, if you have a baby, you have the right to ask your husband for special allowance. Do you know that? Maybe most of the sisters do not know. Because the sister have the right to say, I decide not to breastfeed my baby. And the father have no choice. They got to spend money to buy Dash baby powder next to mother's milk. They go buy something to feed the baby. But if the mother decides that this is our child, I will take the responsibility to breastfeed him. But I need to make sure that I have produce good milk. I must take extra good food, so I need special allowance. Allowance for my effort that I'm prepared to sacrifice my body to breastfeed our baby. Now they have the right to ask us for a special allowance. But we are lucky, all our women are very faithful. They are very obedient. They don't ask this from us. They are prepared to sacrifice everything for the family and for the child. But they have the right. And you have a domestic helper. You have a servant to help in the housework. Suddenly your wife said, I think I can take over this job, this domestic job. We don't have to hire them anymore. And then you can ask, whatever you pay for the helper, you pay to me. The wife has the right to ask if she wants. You know how Islam honors every individual right? Even the wife has so many rights upon the husband. There is hakul kasab, the right to earn a living, to be paid if you do something extra. The fourth right, hakul tamlik, the right to own property. Your wife has certain property that belong to her. When you want to marry a woman, you must give mahar, true or not? Do the woman give you mahar or the man give mahar to the woman? I don't know. In India, I do not know. Man must give, eh? How much you give the mahar? In India, how much you give the mahar? More than 1 lakh. It's reverse. Sometimes it's reverse. Sometimes to marry, to give your daughter away, you got to plan and you got to work so hard. Because you got to spend a lot for that marriage. But it's against Islam. It's against Islam. The easier you make for a marriage is better for you. But the mahar must come from the man to show you that your girl, this lady, have right to own something. Hakul tamlik, he have the right to own certain property, and that mahar belong to her. Nobody can take away from her, not even her parent. It's hers. It's 100% hers. To the extent the Prophet said, Man tazawwas bidain, fala yanwi qada'ahu fahuwa sariq. I don't know whether you have this rule in this country. Sometimes the Qadi will come and perform. And then in the form is written, you want to pay mahar, you must give some mahar. How much do you agree upon? As MP 10,000 rupees, Suddenly, you forget to bring your money. But you have some credit card. But the qadi don't have the credit machine. What can you do now? Can you carry on with the marriage? Yes. Because in our country, the form, the nikah form, you have a column talk about mahar, cash or credit. You have been human, sometimes you're so happy, you forget to bring important things. Can the qadi just cancel the whole marriage? No, they'll ask you, you are prepared to pay cash or credit? You say, I'm sorry, I forgot to bring my money, but okay, I promise. When you pay your mahar is credit. If you don't pay her, your relationship is considered as zina. You cannot play around with it because that is her right, hakul tamlik. Now you marry a lady, you don't marry her property. Remember, man? Her property belongs to her. Whatever she inherits from her parent is hers, it's not yours. You just married her, you don't marry her property. You must be careful, you don't make zulm on her. The man cannot say, when I married you, yours, you is mine, mine is yours, and everything that is yours is mine, mine is mine. No. No. Whatever is theirs is theirs. They have all the right to own certain things. You cannot take away their right until they allow you to do so. Please remember that. Yeah, Islam is a beautiful religion. It teaches you from the basic human right. All right, good. The fifth right is called Haqqul Amal. The right to work. The man have the right to work. The woman also have the right to work. But if the woman is given a choice to work outside or to work inside, indoor or outdoor, Islam always encourages the woman to be more indoor than outdoor. But they have the right to work. If they have some knowledge with them, it's their responsibility to teach people who have no knowledge. It's their responsibility. They must pass down their knowledge. So they can do some tuition or some any kind of thing at home. It's better. Or they got to go out. But if they want to go out, they must make sure the environment is Islamic for them. They must seek the permission from a husband. A good husband will know what to do with his wife. He never be unjust to her. Because Allah gave her the knowledge. What? An amanah. They have the right to teach her children, have the right to teach other children. That is her duty. That is called Haqqul Amal. But you must know what kind of amal, what kind of work haram you can permit. If you permit it, you are a dayus. You are no more a man. Or you are a man but not full man, half man. A full man will never allow the wife to do any kind of job that is haram. A man who have taqwa, who have faith in Allah, will never allow his wife to work in an area that the work said you cannot cover your aura. You must expose your body if you want to work in the office. No. You don't have to work in that kind of environment. Because as an individual, I have the right to practice my religion. My religion requires me to cover my aura wherever I am, except in front of my mahram. Nobody can take that right away from you. But who honor this right? Only the Muslim honor this right. People who are not yet Muslim, they don't give us that right. They are forcing the Muslim children to dress un-Islamically if they want to go to school. How can they do that? That is our basic right. All the constitution allowed that, but they are changing the constitution. The right of every individual. Hakul amal, number 5. Number 6, hakul ta'lim, the right to seek knowledge. Every child have the right to seek knowledge because the Prophet said, "Talab al faridatan ala kulli Muslim." Seeking knowledge is an obligation. And our wife have the right to seek knowledge. But if you do not want her to go out and seek knowledge, then she have the right to demand from you, you teach her. In the time of the Prophet, most of the Sahaba, their wife don't go learn from outside. But every time when the Sahaba learn something from Prophet Muhammad, they'll go back and teach their daughter, teach their wife. If they learn 10 hadiths from the Prophet, they will go back and explain 10 hadiths to their wife and their daughter. Now, if you come here today to listen to my talk for 1.5 hours, do you think you are able to convey the same to your wife? I don't say 1 hour, 10 minutes. Do you think you can do that? Most of them can't do that. Your wife may ask, "What do you learn today from the Sheikh today?" "Oh, I learned a lot." "How long do he speak?" "Oh, about 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours. What did he say?" He said that after 10 minutes, it's gone. You listen for 1.5 hours, but you only can convey 10 minutes to me. It's common. We cannot deny that we have a lot of weaknesses. Now, if you can't teach your children, your daughter and your wife have the right to come to seek knowledge. So next time when you come for this kind of seminar or this kind of exhibition gathering, you must not forget to bring them together. Because Allah said, "Qu anfusakum wa ahlikum." You must save yourself and also your family. If you cannot educate your family, bring them together to be educated, so that everybody will learn together. That's why you cannot stop your woman from going to the mosque. It's haram for you to stop them. But you don't have to encourage them. The mosque is not for women. Who give you the right to say that? Who give you the man the right to say the mosque is only for the men? Allah never said that. Prophet never said that.
I pray for our world.
Who give you the man the right to say that the mosque is only for the men? Say that. You must honor their right. They have the right to seek knowledge. They go to the mosque. Why? Because the mosque have classes going on. They got bayan there. They got imam, maulana who giving some talk. And you cannot educate them. So they got to go out and seek the knowledge. Because they are the one who is going to teach the children. They are the first teacher to our children. The first thing they learn, our children learn from the mother, not from us. We have no time for our children. But the mother have a lot of time. This is important. Hakul ta'lim. You cannot stop anybody from seeking knowledge. It's haram. In the Islamic country, education must be free. That's why in the Middle East, education is free. From primary to university level, it's free. You cannot charge that because it is everybody's right. Two things must be offered free in the Islamic country: education and medical. If you want to be a good Muslim leader, you must make sure that these two is given free for the people. To learn, because you want this ummah to be the ummah who have knowledge, not the ummah who is ignorant. Because ignorance is one of the human #1 enemy. Because you are ignorant, you can easily be influenced by anything. A lot of bad things happen because of our own ignorance. We get so confused about a lot of things because of our own ignorance. And ignorance is also our #1 enemy. When you have knowledge, knowledge guides you. Knowledge is light, like nur. Ta'lim, the right to seek knowledge. Everyone have the right. In our country now, they are helping elderly Muslim or elderly Malaysian, the pensioner 60 years above, to learn computer. Now they're learning computer. They still have the right. But now it's the world of computer. In the future, they say, if anyone do not of the elders among us are still considered ignorant in this field, not in other field. And the last right that Allah protect and give to every one of us is haqqul hurriyyah, the right to choose. Every lady, every daughter of us has the right to choose their future husband. You cannot force them. Married by force is haram. You can recommend a good husband for them. You can matchmake your daughter with somebody who is good. It's your responsibility. But if she decides not to accept what you have choose for her, you cannot force her. And she have all the right to say, I'm sorry, father. Not I belittle this man. I think he is a good man. I do not know. But I don't have any feeling for him. That's why the Prophet, even the man, when you want to get married, nobody can force you. Your parent can recommend you a lady, but you have your right to choose. To the extent the Prophet, in the time the Prophet, when people get married, the Prophet asked the man, have you seen the lady? Not yet. Go and see her. Go and look at her and see how you feel. Because that is important. You must know what you want to buy, true or not. You want to be your partner in your life, you must know. So the woman also have their right. They call the haqqul hurriyyah, the right to choose a future husband. Even you are married, now you're married, they have the right to choose what food that they like to eat. You cannot force them. I am a Chinese. Until now, I'm still a Chinese. I cannot change my race. I can change my religion, but not my race. Because race, Allah created us different. If I married my wife, if she's a Malay woman, yeah, of course she's a Malay woman. The Malay may love their own curry. Curry? I don't know whether you call curry here or not. You call curry, yeah? Or the spicy food. Chinese love the soupy soup. Or the plain soup. White plain soup. Not so spicy. No, I cannot force my wife. Now you married with me. Now your husband is a Chinese man. I cannot do that. She have a right to cook what she feels she like to eat. That is her right to choose the kind of food that she likes. I cannot force her. Even to the extent, if I want to buy something in the house, I cannot just think for myself. The one who is going to stay in the house is the wife. If you want to buy a carpet, you want to buy a curtain, you must seek the advice of your wife too. Maybe you like red, but she is allergic with red. Every day she wake up in the morning, saw red color, she get migraine. So you're not supposed to put red color there. You have the right to choose. If you want me to stay in the house, I think I like the curtain blue color. There is her right to choose. You cannot force her. Now this is important because you cannot see that I'm the husband. You must obey me. Yes, she can obey you as long as what you want her to do not contradict the basic teaching of Islam and her basic right. You must honor her right. This is very important for all the men to understand the right of our wife, the right of our daughter. And even our neighbor has right upon us. If he is a Muslim neighbor, he has two rights on us. One right, the right of a Muslim, The second right, the right of a neighbor. If he is your relative, he has three rights. The right of a relative, the right of the Muslim, the right of your neighbor. But if he is not yet a Muslim, then he has one right, the right of your neighbor, to be your neighbor. You cannot bring harm to him. You cannot disturb the peace of his life. You cannot do that. If you plant a mango tree, you plant it on your ground, in your compound. Allah is so great. The tree grow, and the branches go more to your neighbor. And the branch that extend to your neighbor's side have more fruit. Now what are you going to do with your neighbor now? Are you going to and tie all your fruit with some string and with some clothes, so that if the fruit falls, it will come back to you? Or are you going to tell your neighbor, my neighbor, please, you see there's some mango just fall, please pass the mango back to me? Or you give it to your neighbor to sweep for you. The fruit, you want it back. No. Anything that falls to his side, that is his right. You know, in Islam, it's very small, very refined. The adab Islam is so beautiful. You can say, my neighbor, don't worry. This tree is for everybody. This one is yours too, don't worry. Anytime you want, just pluck. I'm not going to scold you. It belongs to both of us. This is the right of the neighbor. Do you know the Prophet said that cook something and it has a very strong smell? You must be careful. If you disturb the peace of your neighbor, suddenly he smells, oh, our neighbor is cooking some special dish today. No, you're in trouble now. You must send one bowl. Send it to them. Because they have right. You know, that's how neighbor, according to the Sunnah, 40 house on the right is your neighbor. 40 left is your neighbor. 40 in front is your neighbor. And 40 house back is your neighbor. Now you have houses going this way. And 40 above you is your neighbor. You have a lot of neighbors. And all these neighbors have right upon you. Do you know that? You see, according to Islam, subhanAllah, you live like a unit, like one community. Beautiful, but hardly we understand this right. Now you see people who live in the flat house, they don't know each other. They don't even know who is your neighbor. Maybe in India, the same in our country, if you live in the village, they have that spirit. You ask anybody, where is so and so, even he's staying that corner, that last corner, he knows. Oh, he is there. Because they are very close to each other. They always meet together. They feel the self-belonging among themselves. This is the right that Islam provides for every individual. I don't see that there's any right that is more beautiful than the Islamic rights. Because when the Muslim, and you fight for your right, you must not exploit the right of the other people. They have also right upon you. I give you another example. The children may not know what right do we have as parents upon them. You know, the Prophet said that when your child reaches the age of 7, you must start to call them to make salat, to pray. But if they reach the age of 10, if they don't pray, what should you do? You have the right to cane them. But if they don't pray at the age of 10, do they commit sin? Do they commit sin? Share with me, brother. Do they commit sins? No, because they are not baligh. Salat is only wajib upon people who is baligh. They are not baligh. If they don't pray, they don't commit sin.
I pray for every child. I pray for our world to be filled with smiles, like the colors of a rainbow. just